I'm curious with you, Matt. Do you find that ever since you started your team, because now your team is quite big, right? It's a solid, well-oiled machine, that you've been able to free up some more time to focus on the business you enjoy, or is it more of the management you're focusing on right now?
It's definitely more work for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But I think and I'm trial and error right now too with the systems and everything and seeing what works, what doesn't. So I'm still going through those motions, but I've experienced the leverage. I've experienced the buyers taking leads and doing the deals, which I never experienced before, being a solo agent. So that's cool, like getting leveraged income, which is something we can all strive for, right? So yeah, I think if done properly, and a lot of people who will hate on teams and shit on teams, but there's some really good teams out there.
Yeah.
And it's either, whether you're like a skinny team or like a massive team, it just comes down to your foundation, your systems, and the support, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your biggest struggle right now? Like now that you've had the team, like you said, it's still trial and error, but what would you say if you had to pinpoint one thing? It's the biggest thing that kind of like your shortfall right now.
Well, I mean, a lot of new agents that'll come on, and I'm not growing it anymore beyond this until like it's built for more. But it's like, where are the leads? Where are the leads? And you have agents come on and they're struggling, right? And I can only give so much out of my own pocket, and if I try my best to make sure they're doing the work, right? Mm-hmm. But my biggest pain point right now is building out that solid foundation that's just on autopilot, where that lead flow is coming and that business is coming in. Because right now, a lot of it's organic from me, but I don't want to rely on just me.
Sure.
I'm just trying to build out that. I'm trying to figure out what that system is still. Is it like online lead gen? Is it farming an area? Right? So that's kind of where I'm at.
I'd like to actually point out that as a new agent, joining a team has nothing to do with getting leads. I feel like everyone joins.
Big fact.
Yeah, everyone joins a team thinking, hey, I'm going to get a bunch of leads. The reality is, if you want to start your career and build a real fast career quicker than the average sales representative by themselves, you join a team for the mentorship, for understanding the systems, how to write that offer, how to get out of complicated situations where you can't bridge the gap between the buyer and the seller. These are things you learn. Leads are great. Like, you want leads, no problem. I'll go throw up a Google ad. I'll get you 5 leads tomorrow morning. But getting them and closing them are two different stories. They're different, right? So as anyone looking to join a team, don't join a team because they're going to promise you leads. Because at the end of the day, those leads probably convert at a 1% to 2%
100%.
ratio,
100%.
which, by the way, you have to get 100 leads to close 1 or 2. You join for the exposure, the experience, like, for example, I sit down with one of my team members. I helped him do a multiple offer the other day. And guess what? We sold it. He learned. And you think he'll need me the next time? He will not. So that's why you join a team, not just because of the online leads.
You know what I find interesting, guys? And again, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but this is now the second time I'm running a team. And I find that a lot of realtors, they're really focused on how much you're taking from them. So it's like, they'll go to university, they'll pay $14,000, $15,000 a year to go to school and put in all that time, effort, etc. But they'll join your team. You don't get anything unless they sell anything. So if they sell nothing, you can give them customer service for an entire year. You made nothing, and they're kind of looking at how much money you're making off of them. But in reality, your success is based on their success, right? Yeah. So it's just, again, I totally agree with Dorian. The majority of people, they join teams because they're kind of struggling. But at the same time, like, I'm going to answer my own question now that I asked you. My biggest struggle is people not being consistent, because you're like, hey, listen, these are the things that you need to do to be successful. And they're like, okay. They just don't do them. Yeah. Or they may do them for a week or 2 weeks, and then they'll kind of like, and then you kind of say, hey, why aren't you doing this?
You get busy.
Yeah.
The old, I'm busy, things are going on. I get it. It's
who gets the blame?
Exactly. You, as a team lead, you carry most of that responsibility.
For sure.
And sometimes, you do take it, I wouldn't say personally, but you do want the people around you to succeed.
Absolutely.
Or else, why have a team? If your team's not succeeding, you're the only one succeeding, it's not fun. Yeah. It's fun when everyone's eating, everyone's having an amazing time.
100%. It's cultural. Like, even me, like, I'm with the XP now, and, there's multiple layers to that, but people will interview me and say, Matt, I want to join your team. Like, well, I'm not hiring for my personal small team, but I know then they'll be like, okay, if I join you, am I going to get leads? To me, right away, I'm like, I'm not even interested.
Of course.
But I say no. I'm like, no, you won't, but you'll get mentorship. You happy with that, or do you want leads? If you want leads, go somewhere else. No offense, but we're like, if you come in with us, there's amazing culture. You're gonna learn. You're gonna be surrounded by people doing, performing at the highest level. If you want to eat off of that or absorb that, it's all yours. If not, I mean, but yeah, the leads they're not going to be given up.
The first agent that when I started my brokerage, he reached out to me maybe 3 or 4 months after I opened it, and he wanted to come work with me. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm not ready because I would be doing a disservice to you if you came to work with me. I'm just not at that point where I can coach you and kind of make you successful. I said, but when I'm ready, this was, I think, around April. I call him back in October and I said, listen, if you're still interested, I said, come on board. He came on board and I told him right from the get-go, say, you're very, very green. Until you are ready, I will not be giving you any leads. So even though if I have them, I won't give them to you because I feel that you can never give a lead to somebody unless they're actually ready to take it on.
Yeah.
So new realtors need to really focus on not necessarily closing deals. And I get it. We all need to eat. But if you don't understand the business,
big
you
one.
can't transact because the reason why people are going to use you as a realtor is because you're actually giving them value because you know what you're doing, because you're going to help them with like one of life's biggest decisions. So if you don't know what you're doing, how can I, even though it's a lead, how can I trust to give you that lead? Because at the end of the day, my name is on it. So if you screw up, they're not going to talk just bad about you. They're going to talk bad about me. So how can I, as a team leader, give you a person when I think you're not ready, right?
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, like, I love that idea and it makes total sense to me. I'm just very opposite.
Okay.
I'm more of the, it's from my father. So
Yes.
if my dad's watching this is because of you.
Papa Dorian.
So I'm more of like, throw them in the water,
And let them swim.
see if they can swim.
100%.
And if you can't figure it out on your own, no matter how much I teach you, I don't think I can help.
No, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I wouldn't necessarily give somebody the lead like,
Yeah,
again,
like here's a bona fide
yes,
seller, go
yes.
go close it. I
Yes.
understand completely. Yeah.